Welcome to Bonehead Weekly. This week we have Jessa Flux. How are you today?
Hi, I'm really good and I'm happy to be here.
I know I hate one of the I hate that question. I've actually tried to keep myself from asking that question. I have watched hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of people interview people who are much better at this than me, and they still those assholes ask that question. I don't know why. Why we just can't start having a conversation is beyond me. I've got all that out of me. Now, before we get started talking about you, you told me I could ask anything I wanted.
I,
So
I can't wait.
you laid one out for me, and this is it. And this is me creeping on your social media. You ready for the question? I'm going to ask you a
I'm so
fantastic question. Oh my God, what's the most disgusting thing a guy ever did?
I can't
See?
remember. Like when
No. Did you
seriously, when people ask me that
stop,
question, I'm
stop,
like,
stop, stop?
I
Don't even
really don't.
answer. I just
Uh,
wanted to be a smart
you
ass.
get
No, I wanted to be a smart ass, Chad, because she was posting on social media about her least favorite question to ever get. And
oh,
Yeah.
that's the question.
that's the question. So I was hoping she'd start laughing, but it didn't work.
No, she was actually going to legitimately answer that.
I
I
know.
mean,
Go
I
ahead.
always try to answer it, but I can't ever like I feel like any negative experience I've had like as a sex worker, like if it's not pleasant, I just like it's gone. Like I just file it away somewhere. So like it I will say, okay, I can think of one thing
Yeah.
that a guy did to me and it made me really uncomfortable. It wasn't gross though. Like I think gross is like a loaded word. Like I don't know about that, but it was just uncomfortable. He kept jiggling my belly during a lap dance and asking me, he's like, you must work out. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, obviously, okay, first of all, I do work out, but obviously I like to eat as well. But I'm like, you're fetishizing me because I'm thick, but also like patronizing me by asking me like what I do to work out. So it was just awkward. Like in I always remember that. But like as far as gross, people are generally not gross, I would say.
Well, and I honest to God didn't. That's the reason I said stop, stop, stop. I didn't. I was not expecting you to answer the question. It was really more about just trying to make you laugh and feel comfortable, because I we're friends on social media, and you were posting that, and it came up on my feed, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be an asshole, and it's gonna be the first thing I bring up. Just
Of
to,
course.
I'm sorry.
What else did I expect?
Right? Yeah. Well, I am nice. We are pleasant and respectful. We are that,
You are.
but yeah. Oh, shut up, Chad. But
I
besides,
don't know. I seem to recall Jessa. I think I recall Jessa call. I think it was the word asshole. It might have been butthole, but she called me one or the two.
Was this the night I was drinking?
Yeah, we were at the theater and I said something smart ass about Joe, and you go, "Oh, he's just being an asshole."
but
Which,
that being said, she shit.
by the way, is 100% accurate, Jessa. By the way,
She also gave me shit because she was telling me, because at the time you were doing the face of horror,
Fucking face of horror.
and I
Is that
said,
what you're
what?
about to start talking
yeah,
about? And
and
you said, yeah, everybody says we're gonna win that.
no, what I said was, you're the second blonde today who told me the same exact sentence.
Well, either way, I don't think a blonde won. Okay.
It was
So
the right thing to say. I had also been drinking. So does that make you feel better?
listen,
I apologize.
it's fine. I was like, no, really, no, I really thought I was gonna win. Like seriously.
Yeah, no, it's great. There's several. It's amazing how many people I kind of knew, and then I met you that day that I kind of knew. But it's all right, because I promised you and Athena bourbon, and then I forgot it, didn't get to do it, and then Saturday was busy because I work, I do those panels, and then Sunday I was like, I don't lie to people. I'm going to take the bourbon over to them, and Athena's like, yeah, great, and you're like, I don't drink bourbon, and turned around and walked away from me.
That sounds about right. Like I was so overwhelmed, so I feel like I could have been rude to people during that con because I didn't know. Like that was my first time being a super Tromette. Like
And we'll
you
get
know
to that in a second.
that was I would do it again. Okay, let me preface it with that. I would do it again with more comfortable shoes. Like the whole situation, like I had no idea we're gonna be like standing and interacting nonstop. Like usually at my con tables, I'm just like sitting and hanging out and like just kind of yelling at people like as they walk by. I'm like, hey, I really like that hat. Come buy a movie. Like my name's Jessa Flux and I'm an actress, you know? So I'm used to kind of being like outgoing and stuff, but like sitting
Yeah.
time.
No,
My feet
gonna,
got blisters on them.
well, I was going to say too, you all were in a very tight space. That had to be a little claustrophobic there for a while because there was like tons of guys just surrounding you. Like
It was anxiety inducing for sure. Like for sure.
and
Yeah.
also we've talked about this a little bit with Athena, but what I want to say, and Chad talked about this, is that Uncle Lloyd never stops. So
No.
maybe 3 times. Well, I'm assuming you are no more than 22. He's probably no more. He's 3 or 4. I know, right? He's 4 times your age, but he just keeps going. He is the Energizer Bunny. He was going that night after midnight when we introduced the movie.
Well, I mean, I think after that night where he tied one on, that's how he described it. He definitely did not show up to the table until like noon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, but I also think that he's like in the practice of like drinking and doing these cons. Like I don't drink as much as I used to, but like whenever I did, like I could drink every freaking night. You know what I mean? And I could go out and I could party and I could get up and do it again the next day. So I think that he's just like in the practice and he's never been out of the practice of like always being on. So you know what I mean? Like if you were all of a sudden a 73, or I don't know exactly how old he is. I think he's between 73 and 76. I think I looked it up.
I think he's 76 years old.
Okay, so if you're a 76-year-old person and just out of the blue, you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna go do a horror convention and be drunk and high and like have a good time, like you would probably like just die or something. Like it would just be too much. But like as a person that's done that his whole life, like of course he's gonna be all right with it, you know?
Well, I mean, I'm 42 and I can't do it.
I can do it a few weekends. So I can do it then. And in fact, I was at the VIP. I was doing stuff Saturday night, but I don't know that I can do it every weekend. So
I don't think he does either. Like I think he has like maybe he does like a convention a month or less than that.
Yeah. Well, when the interview's over, remind us we do a spot for an Australian show as well. And our Australian counterpart has a great story about him. Please remind me to tell you when I push record. Deal?
Okay. All right. Will do.
So Jessa Flux, you are our guest tonight. You're an actress, but not
I am.
only are you an actress, your website, Jessa Does It All, isn't referring to anything naughty as much as it is that you do it all in the film industry, correct?
Yeah.
Makeup effects, special effects, behind the camera.
Yes. Well, no, I'm not behind the camera. No, I'm definitely not. I would love to be. I'm actually listening to a book about filmmaking right now by David Lynch, and I would love to do a movie of my own, like just to say I did it. Like it would be really fun, but I haven't done it yet. But I do makeup. I'm learning effects. I can do hair. I started. I did hair in a salon for 2 years. I don't work a normal job anymore, but
Me either.
you know, so I have like that experience and everything. But I love doing makeup. I still do makeup on the regular for special events and stuff like that. And I've done it for 2 movies and hair along with that. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
So when you say that, I'm curious to know what is your passion is acting then?
It is, yes, for
The
sure.
other stuff is fun. You want to be on a film set, but your passion is acting.
Yes, but I like you said, I like to be on a film set because like I learned so much from everybody. Like that's the one thing is like every time I go into doing another film, I try to take like 3 things away that I'm like, okay, well I learned that about acting, but I also learned this about directing and like the way they were holding the camera, they called it a this or what, you know what I mean? Like I try to pick things up so that in the event that I do create my own movie, that I will half-ass know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Listen, the Boneheads have made several short films, and half-ass would be a compliment to what we've done as well. Let me understand what you're saying. So, what was it when you were a little person, when you were a child? What was it? It was like, I want to be an actor. I want to get on the silver screen. What was it? What was it?
Um,
What's
I'm a ham. I like I like being in front of people. I like getting all the attention. I like entertaining. My experience with the stage really started with dance. I trained at ballet, tap jazz, and then modern dance as well. And I used to be really shy. Like I wasn't able to really speak in front of people. I would turn bright red. Like I had like I always had this like part of me that's like I want to be on the Disney Channel, but also I can't talk in front of anybody. So like this is awful. So I had like this juxtaposition like constantly that like I wanted to be an entertainer, but I was just so in my own head. Like I'm an only child. Like I had to entertain myself growing up. And I think that, you know, if I would have had brothers and sisters, or I mean, I was never even in a neighborhood growing up. We moved around a lot. I felt like I was never in a neighborhood where there were kids my age. So I just didn't, I'm just be honest, like I didn't really have a lot of friends growing up. So like to learn how to like really interact with people, that's something that came for me like later. So dance was a good thing for me because it allowed me to be in front of people, to entertain them, to use my body and to like express emotion, but at the same time I didn't have to say shit and I was on a stage. So I didn't have to like interact with anybody. But now, like as soon as I did my first movie, well, it wasn't actually my first movie, but my first movie recently. I did a movie a long time ago that like never was released. But so like I really like attest my first movie to Cannibal Hookers, which is funny because I didn't say a lot in that movie.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got on that set, I looked in like one of my fellow actresses' eyes, and she was like looking up at me because I was supposed to be like the grand cannibal hooker. And like all the other hookers were my minions, and they'd bring me like these johns to devour, you know what I mean? And I was looking in her eyes, and she looked at me with such adoration that it like weirdly kind of like turned me on and like made me so excited to be in that moment. And like I felt like the character. And after that, I was like, I want to do this again and again and again and again and again and again forever. Like this is it. I didn't know I could do this. Like I didn't know that I could like actually embody a character and just be in front of people, and it just like all the shyness and all the weirdiness and all my awkwardness just absolutely goes away whenever a camera turns on and I'm interacting with other people on a set. Like it's like a magic thing happens. Like I'm still a shy weirdo, but like on a set and like in front of a camera, I turn into like the character, and that it's so exciting to me. It's like it's a rush. It's a turn on a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I two or three things that I think that Chad and I can relate to. A couple for me and then one for Chad, I'm sure. But there's I especially if we have a great interview, I won't be able to go to sleep. And if I'm on the stage at one of these conventions and it goes well, there's a reason why I'm out at 12-1 having a good time, is because it's like heroin, it's like cocaine, it's the best high on earth to make that crowd
I agree.
laugh, and oftentimes I can do it, and it's a natural high. Also, I'm an only child like yourself. But now Chad probably can speak more about the introvert part.
Yeah. No, I'm everything you said is I'm hugely introverted. I have no social skills whatsoever. When I get into a room full of people, I'm usually the one that goes into the corner and doesn't come out. But you know,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Please.
No, I was just saying, but sometimes when I get into a conversation like this, or you know, like talking to Lloyd, I mean, granted, I had questions for Lloyd. I don't, but you know, my shyness goes away. Like I can sit there and talk. Usually one on one. I have a hard time getting in front of a crowd. I do. I still get like terrified. To this day. But I get over it. I get over it a little bit while I'm on it. But even afterwards, I'm like, okay, back into my shell.
Jessa, why I so when I was trying to research a little bit, and you posted something the other day too, and I wrote on there, "Oh yeah, you're totally shy." Do you remember? As
I don't remember that, but
why you don't
sounds.
remember anything? Obviously, I'm just another person to her, Chad. I
There's a
thought I
lot
was
of
more
interactions that
important.
happen for me online, and
Yes.
I can't remember all of them. It's
I'm
not
just I'm just messing with you. That being said, I'm
possible.
curious why horror. What
I
was
fell into it. That's
it?
that. Yeah, literally, I fell into it. And now I wouldn't have it any other way. I've worked at a club in Bloomington, Indiana, with a girl named Alice Winkler. I'm actually going to stay with her after this interview, and we're going to the Chicago Con together. But she had done 2 movies at that point, 2 horror movies, and the way that she would speak about it was just so exciting. Like, first of all, it was situations where it wouldn't normally be in a normal movie that she was kind of describing. And so I think that was really super exciting. And then I kind of was like, I want to do that. And I tried to like hook up with her, the director that she had done the 2 movies with. And he had me for a small part in, what is it? Space Babes from Outer Space. And I did a small part in that, and then I did the extras, and both of them were really fun. Like, it was super fun to do. And then just randomly another director added me on Facebook and then asked me to be in his movie. That's Cannibal Hookers. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, finally I get a chance to do the Alice thing. Like, I was totally copying off of her. But I think she's flattered by that at this point, but it was totally a copycat move. But yeah, I kind of fell into it because like Donald Farmer added me on Facebook, and he was just like, hey, do you want to be in a movie? And I was like, does it pay? You know what I mean? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
pay for my time and I'll be there. And I was like, yeah, and I think that the reason why my role was so silent in that film is, I think, and I'm not really sure, and I'm haven't asked him, I think I said that I was kind of nervous about speaking on camera or memorizing the lines or something like that, because that was true. I was nervous about that. And then I think he made my role basically silent because of that, because he's so good with work strengths are or whatever they're into. He'll even like work that into the character for them. So I think that that's what he did as a favor to me. And then from there on, he started giving me like bigger roles where I was saying more and having like, now I'm like a star in most of his movies. So it's like super fun. But I'm glad that it started like that. Like, I'm glad that it ended up being like a silent part, like where I was like telepathically talking to my minions, because it was like, it didn't scare me away. I was like, now I really do think I could talk in front of cameras. Like, I could totally do that. But yeah, I kind of just fell into the horror genre, and now I'm like super hype about it. Like, I love it.
So this is so shocking to me because Chad and James and I have interviewed so many people, whether they work in film, whether they specialize in science fiction, horror, whatever. We've had a lot of people on here who do a lot of genre. That being said, almost all of them, with you being maybe the only exception, Chad, am I wrong?
No.
Has a story of, oh no, I was 8 and I saw blank and I fell in love with that. And you don't have that story.
No. No.
Fascinating. You just kind of
No, I saw the Disney Channel when I was a kid, and I was like,
you
I want to be on that. Like,
just wanted to be Hannah Montana.
yes, I still want to be Hannah Montana. Like, I don't think that's ever going to go away. But yeah, no, I did enjoy scary movies though, like, for sure. But my favorite kind of scary movies is not really slashers. I do love Scream. I guess that's a slasher, right? Like, technically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I love Scream, but other than, I like Poltergeist, and like, I like stuff about like dead people and spirits and stuff like that. Like, that kind of stuff scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
If it's like a curse or like a ghost or like a demon. I love movies where they try to bring the demon out of people. What's that called?
Exorcism.
Exorcisms. Yeah, I love exorcism movies. So I like stuff like that. But I ended up being in a bunch of gore movies. But hey, whatever. I have a good time with it.
Well, you've done one in your upcoming another. You're doing two. You've done two Exorcist movies. You did Bigfoot and Shark Exorcist too. So there you go. It's what it says. It says you're in pre-production for Shark
Yeah,
Exorcist.
no, I did both of them. Don't get me wrong, but it's not really like there's not. I don't think there's. Is there really an exorcist in those movies? I don't consider those exorcist movies. Like, you'll have to see them.
What?
It's just a title to grab somebody's attention.
The sons of bitches are lying to us. There's
There
something on the
is a
poster that's not in the
demon.
movie, Chad.
There is a demon in the shark, you know. So yes, but it's not like your typical like exorcism movies.
Yeah.
Where do and then there is a demon in the guy that gets infected with like the Bigfoot demon. That's honestly one of my favorite movies, and I cannot wait till that one is released. Like, it's completely done, but it's like, you know, post-production is a bitch, and you never know like when the thing is going to come out. But I get to be really super funny in that, and that I really like being funny. So
well, yeah, it makes sense. I was about to say, so where you're obviously local to the area, and I don't want to start talking about where you live because I'm sure you have stalkers. We all have stalkers, and I don't want to be making any weirder. But what, Chad?
I don't have a stalker.
Well, Chad, consider yourself lucky. Yes, back me up on this one.
Yeah, it's no fun.
It is.
I'm sure it's not.
It's not. So, and I'm sure it's worse for her now.
And I know there's some stalker listening to this going, "Oh, Chad, make notes."
Oh my God.
I'm going to stalk.
I need a new job.
And oh my God, bald and thin, just my type. Now, where do you shoot most of the films? Is it around the Louisville area or
all over? Honestly, like Charlotte, I've done a couple movies and movies in Charlotte. I've done some movies. I've recorded some movies in Lexington, Louisville.
What? She didn't tell us she was here.
Yeah, I've done, I think, 3 movies in Lexington. Yeah. My first, Cannibal Hookers was shot in Lexington, Kentucky.
Where was it shot at in Lexington?
I have no idea. It was my first time ever being in Lexington, so I was like an hour late. It was awful because I was trying to drive there from Evansville, and then all of a sudden on this road there was this huge like puddle of water that like I tried to drive through, and I was like, my brakes are gonna go out. Like I was like, could have opened the door and got water into my car. Like it was so bad. So I had to turn around and try to figure out another route. And I'm terrible at directions and I'm terrible at driving. So I ended up being an hour late, and I was really embarrassed, and never again will that happen. But that was awful.
She was also, let me go ahead and say she's terrible with directions. She's also, how many times will we explain what time this interview would take place?
Okay, so I have an issue with time zones. Like I cannot figure them out. Like it's like +1 or -2, and then I'm like, what? Like I just cannot do time zones.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, I will ask you a million times. I'm like, so, and then I came to Louisville, and that's where I'm at right now. And like, I was like, I have no idea. Did the time it changed? So my iCal says that it's at 9:30 now, and I'm like, let me just make sure. I don't know.
Well, I finally smartened up and said, what time is it where you're at? Right? Yes. And I was like, oh, it's the same time. I will see you in 2 hours. Great.
Perfect. So yes, right. And here I am.
I was just giggling about it. I was trying to get my kid to sleep when we were messaging back and forth. What time is it where you're at? And when this is out, she is not going to be in Louisville, you crazy stalkers. So don't even try.
I won't be.
Now, have you thought about?
She'll be in Wyoming.
Yes.
Go to Wyoming.
Go all the way to. Actually, Wyoming's very nice.
Like right in the middle.
That's actually right in the right. No, it's more towards the top. Is where doesn't matter, Chad. Where I'm
trying to send all the creeps to Wyoming. They don't have enough of them.
But have you been to Wyoming? We need to get back to Jessa.
I've never been to Wyoming.
I've never been to Wyoming either.
It's pretty. There's a reason why they call it Big Sky Country. It's really nice. Anyway, back to what I was saying. When do you make the big move? Or are you going to stick it out in Indiana?
You know, three people have mentioned to me recently because I'm dealing with something like a housing issue right now with my landlord. He's a slumlord, I'll just be honest. And I didn't have a problem with it because I'm like, if I'm late on my rent, I mean, it's just like, what's he gonna do? You know, he doesn't fix anything, and it's fine. Like I didn't really care, but somebody reported him, and now he might lose all of his properties. So I may have to move. And I've lived in the same apartment my entire adult life, like
All 6 months.
all 3 months.
All
Okay.
3 months.
But no, seriously, I've never moved. I love where I wanted to buy the building, but I don't have that kind of money because, like, who does, you know, to buy a whole building? But like, I'm gonna end up having to move is what the whole point of this story is, and I don't know where I'm gonna go. And I've had several people just say like, this could be an opportunity for you to like go to Chicago or for you to go to a bigger city where you have more opportunities. But like, I feel like living where I do is so convenient because the price of living isn't crazy. I can travel and still afford my rent. I can I can do so many things and not feel like, I mean, it is kind of getting dangerous where I live, but yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like the universe is telling me to move, but I don't know where or why. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna go to LA,
Why?
but I do want to continue to act. I just I don't know what the next step is quite yet, but I'm figuring it out.
Well, now you can't move to Wyoming because I've thrown them off your trails. You can't go to Wyoming.
Yeah.
Not Wyoming.
Yeah.
So why not LA?
LA seems like it's too crazy. I don't know. Like it's just like, first of all, the price of living, like
It is
I
expensive.
I make most of I mean, like I do movies and I get paid for those, you know, thankfully, but that's not enough to pay my rent, and my rent's pretty cheap. So, you know, like, and I try to do a movie a month. Like that was my goal for the year. So like I'm still making money at it, but like what is the rent in LA? Like that's like freaking thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You
can't
have,
imagine
you have to
making
have
that
another
work.
gig. You
And
have
plus and then you also got air pollution and Scientologist.
Well, we're pretty polluted where I live, but there's no Scientologists.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been to Evansville. So
I have.
have you really?
Yeah.
Now you're ready to make that big move, but you haven't quite figured out how you're going to do it and what you're going to do. I'm curious, have you actually taken any acting classes?
Well, no, I haven't taken like any acting classes as an adult. Like growing up, like I participated in musicals,
Yeah, the
musicals.
dance and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, and I took drama all through high school, but and I'm reading a lot of books on theater and acting right now, but I have not officially taken an acting class.
I can't, damn it, my microphone went silent for a second. So, well, I also, you talked about something on social media, and sorry, I wasn't trying to stalk you, but I wanted to make sure that I understood you a little bit before we got into it. If you've noticed, we've actually tried to ask questions that are a little more deeper. So, I was just curious because you say, and you were trying to give advice to other folks who are doing, for the most part, almost low budget, no budget, right? Films.
Yeah,
Still get paid. Don't do it for free.
yeah.
You want to talk about that for a second? Because I thought that was not only empowering, but a really good message that you still your time. You may not get paid a lot, but you still should get paid for your time.
Yo, yeah, because I mean, especially as an actor, I take a lot of time to like develop my character. Sometimes, depending on what the production can provide, sometimes I'm providing my own clothing for the character. There's just so much that goes into it, and I work with a acting coach with my lines, and I just really try to bring that character to life. So it's not that I'm just using the days that I'm on set. Like I'm starting work on a role at least a month before I'm on set, and I'm working on it a little bit every day. So there's a lot of time that goes into that. And like, I can't imagine people that are like doing that for free. Like absolutely nothing. Like, you know, like for the experience, like I don't quite understand that. Like you should at least get a, you know, I don't know what the minimum should be. I mean, everybody should, you know, come up with their own, what they're worth and everything. I have a daily rate that I expect to be paid. And that's what I ask for. Sometimes I get paid more and I'm like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome. And then sometimes like like if the role is convenient, if I'm going to be in that area of the country, you know what I mean? If they're paying for my flight and hotel, whatever, like I'll be like, okay, so I'll take a little less per day. I mean, like I'm not like completely firm in my rate. Like I'm willing to be flexible, but like I just don't understand people working for absolutely free. And I think that that'll burn you out. Like if you're doing anything for free, like if you're DJing, like if you're a DJ and you're just doing gigs for the, you know, 2 free drinks, like you're not going to DJ for very long and you're not going to develop your craft and you're not going to get any better because you're going to get burnt out because you're just doing the most for absolutely nothing. So I don't understand that personally, working for free. But I mean, like, I'm not going to like shame anybody for doing it either. Cause some people, I mean, like if David Lynch came out of the sky and offered me the perfect role and he was like, but I can't pay. I feel like, you know, like I probably would do that, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna say like never is never. If the role was absolutely perfect and I think it would change my life and change my craft and maybe put me on the map in a different kind of a way, then yeah, maybe. But I don't think that's what people are getting. They're just working doing anything for free. And I just think that's silly.
That's the reason why we suck at Bonehead, Chad.
Yeah.
Never made a damn dime.
No, not a nickel.
I want to support you a little bit because the first time someone handed me cash for what I do at the panels and conventions, here's what I say. It makes you a professional.
Yes.
And
for sure.
I tend to not show up for free anymore.
Oh no. And I think that's also
because I'm a professional.
Yeah.
I will be I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm going to be prepared.
Yeah.
I'm going to know everything. We're going to take care of it. Everybody's going to have a good time. You just tell me who, where, when, and it's done. You never have to worry about me again because I am a paid professional.
Right.
Does that sum it up for you? At least that's how I sum it up.
I mean, like, you know, there's a lot of flaky people in the independent film world where I've been on sets and people came the first day and they didn't feel like coming the second day. So they didn't come back. And I'm like, well, how much are you paying them? And then everybody goes silent. Like maybe that person wasn't getting paid. And it's like, how do you want people to show up for you if you're not giving them a little something? I'm not saying like give them $1 million. You know what I mean? Just give them something for their time and, you know, make it worth their while. But that's why people don't show up a lot of times. Like, could you imagine like somebody paying me for a role in advance and then I just didn't get on the airplane? Like I would never, like, because then I'll never get a role for the rest of my life because people that will get around. Like I would never.
Over. Yeah, we trade on our reputation, especially in this business like this. And like this, if we do something wrong, if we say the wrong thing, if we treated you like crap, you wouldn't do the show, nor would you tell anyone else to do the show.
Right.
Exactly. No, I completely get it. And you're right. When you pay, you're a professional. And I completely understand. So when I read that comment, it was jotting down because I knew we would be talking about. This is something that I really admire about you, that you were telling other people who are also maybe young, want to be actors, going into it that, yeah, hustle, but get paid. Because the people pay you are probably going to treat you better and with a little bit more respect than the people who don't.
That's true.
Because they're going to respect your time a little bit more, especially if they're paying you by the day, because they want to get this shit done.
Yeah, they do.
They do. So, do you mind if I read off a few of these titles because I just love them?
Oh, please do.
All right. Here, I want to. So, hold on. Where was the one? Shit, I had it just here. It was. Oh, damn it! It wasn't Satan Lives: The Rise of the. Okay, let's talk about this one. Satan Lives: The Rise of the Illuminati Hotties. Which Illuminati hottie are you?
I am the Illuminati hottie. Thank you.
Holy shit. Of course you are.
You already know. That is a really fun movie. I did that in Tampa, Florida, with
Yeah.
my friend Sean Donahue. He's the director, and I had contacted him because he was like the year prior that he was looking for like somebody to do a Marilyn Monroe impression, and that's like a thing I do. So I was like, I can do that. And he's like, well, you're not local, you know, like I'm not going to fly you out for a 1 day shoot. And I was like, okay. But he did. He ended up getting in contact with me again, and he offered me a role in that film. And it's almost done. It's almost edited. Hopefully, it'll be out by next spring. But it's a very, very tongue-in-cheek like script. It knows what it is. It's very silly. There's titties. Like it's a good time. Like
I love that
good
you just nonchalantly go, and there's titties.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I know I know the kind of actress I am. Like I'm not like mad about it. But I mean, I do some more serious stuff too, but I do have some great knockers. I'm just going to be honest with you, like chef's kiss, like they're pretty good, but
Chad and I do not know. So you just keep telling us.
I promise you, I swear to you, they look pretty decent. So yeah, so I mean it was a good time.
You remember me talking about Michelle?
You're like going into it.
You're gonna so the difference is Chad will get embarrassed and I'll be like, woo, let's talk about titties.
But yeah, no, like I had such a good time on that set that like I'm really good friends with Sean now. I'm splitting my table for Days of the Dead starting tomorrow with him. He split his con table with me twice now, and I wanted to like, you know, give back, give an exchange, you know what I mean? And we're talking about doing several conventions together next year because we have a really good time together. Like I help him sell his movies, he helps me sell my movies, and like we go and we have really good food and we go to strip clubs and we just have a party. Like we have a good time. And he's like somebody I would be friends with if he lived in my area. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, I'm gonna be friends with that guy for sure. But that's a great movie. I can't wait for people to see it.
Hold on, no judgment. But Chad and I both work in higher education. And when we are not at our office and you say, woo, let's go out and party, the first place I do not want to go to would be my office. So my question is, why are you why would you want do you want to go hang out at a place where you already may work in another one and go see another one? The strip club.
But it's not my office, you know.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, oh great, you've seen them. I have this whole thing about anyway, we'll talk about it after this. Was my whole opinion about strip clubs is like, oh my god, there's breasts, and then 5 minutes later you're like, reality sets in and you go, and they just want the money, and what am I doing here? And you walk out. I know.
I like that. I mean, obviously I work in the environment, so maybe I respect it a little bit differently than you do, but I like that I pick a girl that I like, and I'm just, you know, for sitting with me, I'll just give her a 20, like every couple songs, you know what I mean? Just, and she's hanging out and like, it's, you know, you can go to any bar in any place in the world and I would just sit there by myself. But at a strip club, I don't have to make an effort to talk to anybody. Those girls are coming to me and I'm going to pay them to sit there and stay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have a good time. And I just love that because it's like, yeah, it's like you're giving them money to hang out with you. But at the same time, did you make an effort? Like, did you go and like have to start off the conversation on your own? No.
I never thought of it that way.
They bring the party to you. Like, you don't have to be the life of the party. Like, you just all of a sudden you receive this attention and yeah, you got to pay for it, but it's a good time. I like it. I like the exchange.
That's fascinating. I never thought of it. Thank you for, I never thought of it that way. All right. Let's talk about Shark Exorcist 2. It's in pre-production.
I'm hype about Shark Exorcist 2.
Here's my question. Do we need to see Shark Exorcist 1, or will we be lost? This is a joke that boneheads make often. It's like, I could not watch the fourth Sharknado. I needed to watch the first 3 so I would not be confused.
No, you do not have to watch Shark Exorcist 1. It is very silly. Again, it knows what it is. And I play a girl that is obsessed with figuring out a way to get somebody to take her to Destin, Florida. Like she knows that's where the rich people are at. She knows that's where it's fancy and they got the most beautiful beaches. And she she's a hustler and she's gonna figure it out. And it's very funny. And I love the parts that I play where I just get to be silly. You know what I mean? Like comedy, I feel like I got good timing, you know what I'm saying? So like I like to do those parts.
That is hilarious to me. Have you been to Destin?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I have too. That's where this character you're playing, I want to have a conversation with her, take her to the side. All right. Ready. All right. So that was hilarious. Debbie Does Demons.
Okay. Yes. That one's coming out for sure. And I play the demon.
You're not Debbie.
I'm not Debbie. No, my good friend Angel Bradford is Debbie. She has like a horror show on public access channels or whatever. Like it's like that kind of show. And then she does like paranormal investigations. And the people that I am basically haunting or terrorizing, they go to her for help because they summon me and I'm a 300-year-old witch, but I'm also like, I'm more than a witch. I'm not a demon. Like I have this whole like spiel like that I say. It's really cool. And all of a sudden I turn all her friends, they turn into these little demon puppets that were phenomenal. Like the whole process was amazing and I'm really super excited about it.
Just give me a little taste of the spiel, just a little taste.
I don't remember stuff past like the shoot date, but like I get to speak in this old timey, like old Englishy talk, and that was really fun. And I'm topless throughout the entire thing except for one scene.
There you go. So you're a topless demon and they're trying to kick you out.
Yeah, they're like, well, because I'm turning all her friends into like demon puppets.
Yeah, but you're a topless demon. I'm trying to kick you out. See previews.
She's the Matilda May of our generation.
Matilda May of our generation. Matilda May, if you
of her generation, because
yes, if you've ever seen a movie called Life Force, she is topless and naked through the whole movie. It's directed by Tobe Hooper. Message me later. We will educate you through the history of horror on this one. You will love it.
For sure.
Love it. It is.
And that was a compliment, Jessa, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Chad and I had a huge crush on Matilda May when we were young. I still have a huge crush on Matilda May. All right. So I'm trying to find the other one that I thought was just hilarious. And
it's this one's a Troma one. So I'm assuming the Secret of Cuck Island is because of your work with Troma.
Yeah, I got linked with them because I did a part for the Curse of the Weredeer. I'm just a stripper. Like I'm just a stripper in the background. It's a small part, but it was really fun and everybody was super professional on that set and I got paid really well. So they asked me to do a part for the Secret of Cuck Island. And I'm actually just at the beginning. I'm a random like hot girl. Imagine that. I'm a random hot girl that the main guy hires to do an intro for his YouTube show. So I just say like the weirdest shit in a country accent, topless. Imagine that.
Yeah.
With a pair of underwear on that have like a bald eagle on the crotch, and then it's American flag everywhere else, an American flag cowboy hat, and white cowboy boots. It was really fun.
You talked about the Weredeer when we did the panel. I don't know if you remember this or not.
Oh yeah. Yes, I do, because it was so funny because Lloyd kept saying I was the star of that movie, but I'm definitely not. It's Nadia White. Like Nadia White's the star. I don't think sometimes I just like, I don't think he really knows what that movie's about. He also said it was about, it was anti-hunting.
Yeah, he was going off about that.
Well, he's a vegetarian, so he's pretty serious about like not harming animals. But I just thought that was so funny. He's like, she's the star of the Curse of the Weredeer. And I'm like, yeah, I am. No, Nadia White's definitely the star. And actually she was really, really super cool to meet, like, because I've been following her for a really long time. And I was kind of a little bit starstruck meeting her. And she's really hot. Like she's just as hot, like in real life as she is on the gram. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool. But so the Bigfoot exorcist, what you're telling me is there's not really an exorcist in this.
Well, No, but I will say that I birthed a demon baby,
Ooh,
like on a kitchen floor.
whoa.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with the Bigfoot?
Um, you know, you'll have to see it. Like, I feel like I don't want to give it away. Like,
No, I'm not taking anything away. I really, I'm having a good time with this, and I'm having it because you get so excited and you light up. By the way, when you start talking about your parts, which is really nice to see, you get really excited. So all right, if you won't tell me about the demon Bigfoot, what you've got to tell me about is murder size. So as a tubby fucker, I probably need to do more exercise, but I'm afraid that it will turn into murder.
murder size, I get to be funny in that too, and I'm super excited about it. It's like an 80s kind of slasher that is based around, they're making a aerobics film, and they're fighting for the girl who gets the cover. First, I'm the girl who gets the cover of the film, because I'm like the main girl, and then they're fighting each other to get my place on that. And one girl really takes it too far, and she just starts, knocking them off. She's just like, fuck this, I don't like the way you're talking. And it's like, it's an interesting movie. And I think that one's probably going to be the one that I'm released in like the next year. Like, that one is going to be fucking phenomenal. Plus, let me just say, somebody who supported the campaign bought all of our leggings and leotards that we worked in the hottest heat. It was a heat wave in Sacramento that weekend that I filmed that. And when we got to the studio that we were recording in, they didn't have the air on. Okay. And then once you're on set, you can't turn the air on because it's loud and it's going to ruin the sound. So we're just sweating our asses off. And somebody bought those leggings and those bodysuits that we all were dying in. Like, I mean, it was at one point I thought I was going to pass out. Like, I thought I was going to die. It was awful.
Was it part of the Kickstarter for them to be able to buy the shit?
No, the person
like dirty underwear kind of thing, or what? I don't understand.
The person that was interested in these spandex outfits, that he directly contacted the director and he said, I guess the director named a price and he paid it to help out with the movie, and he got all of our used gear. And then I think somebody else did the same thing with the Reebok high tops.
Really? Fascinating.
I think Joe, this is a fetish thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean,
it seemed like Joe was lost there, so I was like, Joe, this is a fetish thing.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. What I was about to say is everybody's got their kink is actually what I was about to say. And I couldn't try to get it out of my head. It was kind of clicking there. So I've named off a bunch of these. I'm curious which one has been your favorite part?
My favorite part would be I played a therapist in Deadly Dealings.
And, Dr. Lee and Hart.
Yes, that's me. And I got to be like a Southern belle, like an educated Southern belle. And I put like the most work into that character because I can do a Southern accent because I'm like from Boontucky in real life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I can do that, but it sounds sort of like there are so many different ways to do a Southern accent, and to do an educated Southern accent is a whole different thing than to do white trash Indiana Southern accent, So I did a lot of research on how to speak, and also the characters or the real life people that Adam Freeman, the director, wanted me to embody. He was like, I want you to look like Anna Nicole. I want you to behave like you're Dolly Parton, and I want you to wear blue sparkly eyeshadow, and I want you to be this educated doll of a mother figure in this role. And I was like, he actually gave me more food for thought as far as that role goes than any other director has ever done for me. And I think it really turned out well. Like, I think he really got the juice out of me. You know what I mean? Like, I really got to perform that, and I'm really proud of it. And my mom actually even saw that movie. I'm not usually sending links to movies that my to my mother, to see of the stuff that I've done. But I was excited for her to see. I was like, did you watch it yet? I was like, have you seen this? It's freaking amazing. So I'm super, super happy with that character, and I can't wait till that movie comes out too.
Yeah, the movie also has Dixie. Is it Gears? I don't know how to say her last
Yeah,
name.
hers.
Big Ethel, Big Fat Ethel. I hate saying Big Fat Ethel, but that's the character, right? That's the one.
Yeah, that's the character.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'm excited to watch it. I think I will definitely watch that one. Where can I watch it at? Is it streaming on anything?
It's not streaming yet. Adam Freeman is getting together everything to make some copies, some like Blu-rays for us to sell. And he's getting distribution. So you know how that goes. I don't know if you know how that goes.
That's the bitch of it. Making the movie's the easy part. Selling it's the hard.
It's the whole rigmarole of like he had to get us all to sign new releases and everything. So it's been a challenge, but that is completely done. A lot of people saw it because it was in a film festival just recently around Halloween, and so we had a link that we could share. But of course, after the film fest, it was like taken down. But it's a hell of a movie, and it's Adam's first movie, and I've seen a lot of people's first movies. I've been in a lot of people's first movies, and they're not it. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got to have a first so they can have a second and a third and get better. But he did a hell of a job, and I think he's an actor, but I think that he should really stick with this like directing thing, because I mean, he really, like I said, he got me to play a role. He pulled that character out of me, like by giving me all this like food for thought. So I think he should really continue with directing and writing, because he's phenomenal at it.
So I'm curious to know what is, and I know we've had you on here for about an hour or so, but I'm curious to know, what is that dream role of yours?
Oh God. Can I do like fan fiction? Can I say that?
Whatever the hell you want. You are our guest. We are your host. You say whatever comes to your heart.
Okay. So the truth of the matter is, I would love to do Twin Peaks fan fiction.
Because you're a huge Twin Peaks fan. I loved your jacket that you had on, because you did a whole costume change. That Friday night. You had one costume, and then when I saw you again, I didn't even know who you were at first, but because that jacket was absolutely beautiful, and I said I'm a Twin Peaks fan, and I couldn't tell if you were just really stoned or really drunk or still mad at me for saying you're the second blonde who said that to me today. I think all those things are true, and that's okay.
I think that I was stoned. I think let's just be honest about it. I think I was like, what? No, I think I was excited. I think I remember you saying that, because I just have like those targeted ads on Facebook. Well, one of them was that Twin Peaks jacket, and it's like, it was nice. The embroidery, beautiful. It turns inside out. It's like one thing on one side and another thing on the other. It's so cool. And it wasn't like as expensive as you would think for something that fucking phenomenal. And that Facebook targeted ad got me like, and I remember I was up late in Lake Tahoe, and I saw that, and I was like, and purchase, like I just got that right away. Like I was like, no problem. But I would love to play Laura Palmer. Like the first time I saw Twin Peaks, I was going through a really hard time. Like somebody just said, you really need to see Twin Peaks, and it was on YouTube at the time. Like somebody actually ripped copies from VHS tapes, so it had like that little VHS little like lines in it and stuff, and they put it on YouTube, and it survived for a while. And I watched it, and I was just like completely sucked into that world, and it's a phenomenal piece of art. Like it's great. Like I love it. And I love, because like Laura Palmer, she was so many things. She was a sex worker, she was a student, a straight A student. She was doing the Meals on Wheels. She was I think probably because she was on coke, like she was like being able to do all this stuff. But like she was so many things to so many different people in the world. She assisted a child that, well, he wasn't a child, he was 25, but remember the Audrey's brother, like she helped tutor him. So she did all these things for so many people, but like it was like she was running away from herself. Like, and I kind of identify with that. And especially at that time when I saw it, it was just like, oh, whoa, like, oh, this is me, like I totally get this. And so I would love to be able to play her in some way, shape, or form. That'd be a lot of fun for me.
No, that's absolutely, yeah, no, we're Twin Peaks fans. I actually even loved the new season that was on Showtime. I actually liked it quite a bit.
I did too. It was just not what was, it wasn't what people expected. So there's a lot of people that don't like it.
But it's David Lynch. It shouldn't be what they expected.
Oh no, David Lynch is gonna twist you around and break your back. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna give you exactly what you want. Like
So,
no way.
so this is what the ending means to me. When he goes in the alternate universe and whatnot. That's all right, Chad.
So if you notice, I took my headphones out. I haven't seen
That's
it, so I don't want to ruin the
Oh, well,
ending.
hold
I'm
on,
assuming
Chad.
Joe's
Put him
saying
back
that
in.
as
Put him
I'm
back
talking.
in. Put him back in. I'm not going to tell you. Put it back in. Put it back in. Okay. I will give you the thumbs up when I'm done.
Okay.
Okay. So here's, if spoiler alert, still keep on listening if you haven't seen the ending of Twin Peaks. I think what it means to me is that she's doomed no matter which universe she's in.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay.
For sure.
But
Yeah.
so everybody's bitching about the ending, and then they're like, what? But to me, it was very, it's just no matter what she does, if she lives, she becomes this. If she dies, she's this, forever frozen.
They look like two hanging testicles.
So shut up, Chad. I was just curious because I don't have there's not a lot of people I can talk about with this. So I was curious about your opinion about it.
Oh no, I definitely agree. I think that it was a situation where no matter what would have happened, she would have had a shit outcome. Now she was alive still, you know, like.
But she's also a murderer.
Yeah. So I mean,
and completely
the demon of Bob or whatever, the evil that men do, it was gonna get to her no matter what. And I feel like, you know, she put up a good fight, you know, but it was gonna get to her no matter what. And I think that, you know, there's that. I think there are people like that in this, you know, real world where it's like they could have had a completely different upbringing. There's people that had awful upbringings. There's people that had great upbringings. They all turned out bad, or they all turned out, you know what I mean? So it's like sometimes it's like the cards that you're dealt is what is just going to happen. Like I'm not saying that, you know, destiny is real or anything like that, but there might be a little piece of it that's real, you know?
Because I agree with you. And the point, Chad, you can do this now. Hold on. Let's take
Lost Highway. That's a great film, huh?
I actually love the Lost Highway soundtrack. I love it.
So I always think, and I truly think this about most people, even no matter how good you think you are, I think you're just the right one or two things happening to you in your life to murder someone.
Oh, for sure.
Just the right one or two.
I had a nightmare about that the other day, that it's like I'm a hoarder for sure. Like I might be able to be on the show. It's like that bad. That's not disgusting. I just have a lot of stuff.
Look behind me.
It's well organized. Your hoard is well organized. Mine is not. So I'm going to try to go through all my stuff and get rid of it. But I had this nightmare that when I was blackout drunk at some point in my life, I murdered people and I took souvenirs, even though I was blackout drunk. And while I was cleaning out my hoard in the dream, I found these souvenirs that brought it all back to me. And I was like, oh my God, I killed those people. Like, what the hell? And then I was like, oh my God, now I remember where the bodies are. And I'm going to have to dig them up and move them. Like, I mean, it was awful. It was the grossest dream that I've ever had. And it scared the shit out of me. And that's why I want to like kind of rid myself of things. But yeah, I think that there's so many, like, I used to be such an awful person. I'm going to be honest. Like, I used to be such a mean, terrible, vengeful, angry person. And if I would have continued down that path, I don't know what would have happened. Like, I know that within myself, I'm capable of really good and I'm capable of really bad. And I think that everybody is.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, with that, there is a couple of things I forgot that we haven't asked. Chad, we haven't asked, how did she actually how do you get the gig to be a Tromette hanging out with Lloyd?
Since I did Curse of the Were-Deer, I met a guy named Ben, and they were looking for people, and I'm kind of close, so they were like, "Hey, you want to do this?" But let me tell you, that was probably the hardest job I've ever had. Like, I had no idea that I was going to have to be on that much, and then do the introduction for the movie later that night. I was spent after that weekend, and I didn't even really get to look at other people's like con tables to see what they were offering. And by the time we did close down early on Sunday, by the time we had that opportunity, my feet were so blistered. I was like, I am going home. Like, I am not sticking around any longer than I have to.
People ask us all the time. I was like, "Oh, did you have a good convention?" And I always say, "Yeah, it's work though."
Yeah, it is.
We don't get to hang out or look around. We get to hang out at night for some of the parties and whatnot. But a lot of times you can see me hiding. If for another person that I do another show for had a table there, if you'd have walked by a couple of times, because I don't get as much attention as you do, but there's people who know me and who want to talk, you could see me behind his table setting and behind the booth with a bottle. And I'm just saying, to hide sometimes it's lovely.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
to have to talk to somebody for the few minutes. And I'm outgoing and an extrovert, so I totally get it. Now,
For sure.
before we go, Jessa Flux, you want to talk about your website? Jessa Does It All. It's all there.
It's all there because I do it all. Yeah, you can find all my socials. You can find my OnlyFans. Please support, because the more you support, the more I don't have to work a regular job and the more I can do these acting roles. So please do if you're interested in that kind of thing. And then you can also back my movies. Any movies that are have Indiegogos that are active, I always list those on there so people can pre-order copies of the movie, or they can just, support the movie that I'm about to be in. The more I garner support for the movies, the more likely people are going to hire me again. Yeah. I mean, other than doing a good job and showing up and all of that. But I mean, it all goes together. So please, if you have the means, please support the movies that I'm in and support me. But yeah, you can follow me on all my socials. Just go to jessadoesitall.com. You can find it all there.
Last question. What's the best thing about your life?
What's the best thing about my life?
Favorite thing about your life?
Favorite thing? Gosh. Two things come to mind. I sleep a lot and I love it. I sleep like 12 hours a day.
I do not. Chad and I do not.
No.
If left to my own devices, I will sleep 12 hours a day. I can live on 6 hours, but it's not my favorite. And I like my nose.
Okay, so you were, and I don't think I'm being too sexist by saying you were very fond of your breasts earlier.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good.
You're very proud of them, but now we're going to your nose, and I don't know but yeah, it's a lovely nose, but why your nose?
I've just always loved my nose, from a young age. I really love the little curve it has right here in the bone. I love that it kind of swoops up. There's it's like a little button nose.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people, they should take pictures of me into their plastic surgeon and get their noses modeled after mine. I have a great nose.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got the Walter Matthau nose.
What's that?
It's an actor.
He's an actor, grumpy old man.
You look him up, you'll go, holy shit, that's Chad Nose.
I'm gonna look.
I have the ski slope.
But okay, but in all seriousness, my favorite thing about my life is that I'm allowed to be creative. I've always seen myself as an artist growing up. My first love was creating, making doing paintings and drawing, and then dance, and then now acting. And I've just always been one to make it work. I've always had a creative way about me, and I've barely had a real job, you know what I mean? A stereotypical 9-to-5 type of job in my entire life. And I've been able to do that. And I just love that I have the space to be creative in my life. And it's what makes my wheels turn. And I wouldn't have it any other way. You know what I mean? I tried working at a salon for a couple years and it was fucking hell. I hated it. Excuse me for cursing, but it was awful. It was the worst. It was
literally talked about tits for 10 minutes. I think you could say fuck okay.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, no, I get to be creative, and I feel like a lot of people they envy that about me, that people in my world, they're like, how have you gone this long and you never really had a job? And you know what I mean? You get to explore your creativity and take time away and make space for those types of things. And it's because, where there's a will, there's a way. There's so many people that are like, I wish I could do it acting. I'm like, well, you can. I didn't think I could either. Anything you want to do, you just got to start doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, your first painting's not going to be the best. Your first like film is not going to be the best. Your first podcast is not going to be the best. But what
Oh yeah, no, we know.
I have a podcast too. It's awful. Like, like it's a lot of fun, but it's terrible, you know. But it's like, if you're willing to do some work, not the work or all the work, if you're willing to do some work, you can make anything happen, like anything. That's the beauty of the universe. You know what I mean? We all are the center of our own universe, and we can make anything happen that we want. And I am a living example of that. And I love that.
And I think that's a beautiful way. James Thomas is getting on now. The damn thing's over with. You want to hold a half a second to give him shit? Just start cursing at him as soon as the audio starts. And this, what in his picture? Make fun of his picture, please, because we've made fun of. See it?
Where's the picture?
It's hold on. Now start, Jessa. Start. He's on now.
What the fuck? Like, the show is over. The show is over. How are you gonna just show up now?
Dollar late or dollar short, day late.
My battery power on my phone is zapped. Like, we're gone. We're leaving, bro.
Perfect. My timing is always excellent. I've done a great job. I've managed to pull it off once again. Have a great night.
Welcome to the show.
Jessa Flux, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you so much for being on Bonehead and taking an hour. We appreciate it. It was lovely meeting you at Scarefest. We hope to see you there again next year or at other conventions as we go. Please stop by and say hi.
I will.
We'd love to have you back on the show again sometime. And if anybody wants to check out JessaDoesItAll.com, right?
Yes, JessaDoesItAll.com. That's me.
All right. This has been Bonehead Weekly. Thank you, Jessa.
All right, bye.
Uh-huh.